Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. This is a general or collective reading, so parts may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and just leave the rest. This is also a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. If it has been a while since I've posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That might give you further clarity as to your situation now. So we have the underlying energy for this reading is the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords is not the happiest card in the deck. So this reading is talking about a story of you've been stabbed in the back 10 times and left for unalive. Now, this is a collaborated, concerted effort to put you in this position. Quite often, it represents, this can represent over a decade of energy. It can represent one person 10 times, 10 people, even 10 groups of people. So it depends, definitely. We'll look into it some more. It does say, though, that there's light at the end of the tunnel. If you notice, this person does have their hand in the form of a blessing, and this blessing this hand form is the same as the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is responsible for bringing justice from the spiritual realm down to the physical. So this is talking about, this could be a blessing in disguise when you look at it later. And because definitely it's talking, there's some sort of ending coming, because we also have the Tower as the underlying energy for this reading. And the Tower is representing like a big implosion, explosion that brings a cycle to an end. The Tower here is represented in my oracle, which is Tales from the Vector. This is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. The Tower card for my oracle is this dragon, and she was captured as an infant, and she was chained inside of Plato's Cave of Allegory. And this is, if you've heard of Plato's Cave of Allegory, this is a story of how these people are chained in this cave, and they are forced to look at a wall, and so that's all they can see is this wall. They can't turn around and see anything else. And behind them, all of these figures are walking down this road with different items, and then those items are reflected onto the cave wall. And the people, because that's all they've ever seen, they feel that that's the reality, that's all there is in the world are these shadows. And like, look right around the corner there's an opening to the cave, and we can see a sailboat going by, and there's a beach and a palm tree. So it's like they can only see this. This is all they've ever been allowed to see. And so this is talking about this little young dragon. She was captured as an infant, and her wings were clipped, so she couldn't escape. And she's been chained there. She's got this, it's like a lock, but it's a time machine lock. And until the time is the right and someone comes in and frees her, she's stuck here. And her anger and rage is fanning the flames that cause the shadows for to make the shadows on the wall. And someone finally escapes, and when they escape, they come back to let people know, like there's sun, there's water, there's sailboats, there's palm trees, and they think they're just crazy, and they're squinting, and so they think, oh, they've even damaged their eyes by going outside of the cave. And so they refuse to leave. And so basically it's talking about how our perception of our life can, be incorrect, and how different everybody's perception of reality can be. And we can be chained, to that reality when there's a much better one around the corner. So the Tower energy is kind of reflecting that energy when there's something going on and your intuition is telling you, you need to take a look at this, and you don't. And then eventually, like in the tarot, the tower hits the castle, and lightning hits the tower of the castle, and it falls. It's on flames, and people are falling out of it, and it's basically saying, like, nip things in the bud before they become too big, and take a look. Maybe there is a better way to do things. Listen to your intuition. It's quite a few different things, but the tower represents something that is now going to have to be rebuilt. It's an end of one cycle and the beginning of a new one. And this is talking about the wounded warrior. So this is that type of energy, going through like this very long time frame. You manage to get, the wands in tarot do represent the element of fire, and they represent the wood fuels the fire, and that is taking passionate action. So this passionate action, you have taken action, and you have planted, and you've planted 8 wands and have managed to grow them, and they're almost ready for harvest. So, and you're leaning on the 9th one, so you've done really well. There's only 10. But the thing is that you're tired, you're exhausted, you're tired of fighting, you're tired of the struggle of doing it. Why does it have to be so hard? Like that type of energy. And, even your head is bandaged. It's like, I've got a headache from it all. Like, there's got to be an easier way. There just has to be. Or better something out there. And as there is in the cave here. And so this energy is talking about the 3 of Cups. Cups in tarot represent love, quite often romantic love, but it could be love of anyone or anything. And it could even be love of something you love to do or be. And so this is talking about, they're celebrating these 3, and it looks like, oh, there's a celebration, but they're not celebrating each other. They're not at all intimate with each other. They are actually celebrating something that has happened. And so they're celebrating the tower, I feel. They feel like, yay, finally, maybe this wounded warrior won't be able to get back up again. But they haven't noticed you're already back up on your feet. So it didn't work. And so this is talking, in many cultures, if you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye, particularly in Europe, they'll freak out on you because they'll be, look me in the eye if you're toasting them. Because they have a suspicion that if you don't look someone in the eye when you toast them, it causes 7 years of bad luck in your love life and in theirs as well. So they don't appreciate it. And so this is talking about, celebrating maybe too soon. This quite often can be a third-party energy in a love relationship, or someone that in the inner circle that is gossiping, slander, that type of energy, and making things more difficult for you, for sure. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is known for her ability to be very resourceful. She can make something out of nothing, and she prefers quality over quantity. Now, she comes from generational wealth. That's what this represents. Generational wealth is a legacy that's passed down from one generation to the next. And, the pentacles in tarot represent your health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D. And, of course, a very big part of that is money, and that's why the pentacles are represented by a coin. But you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want to live. But the thing is, what I've been asking, I have a lot of comments from my community that they feel that they have an inheritance stolen, or something like someone stole something from them. So whenever the Queen of Pentacles comes up, I'm asking the question, and maybe I'll be able to answer your question today. I get very different variations every time I ask this question in the readings. Why is the Queen of Pentacles having to be so resourceful if she comes from generational wealth? What happened to her legacy? Where is it? Why, it's good that she can be resourceful, don't get me wrong, but why should she have to be? It doesn't make sense. So let's see what's happening. Let's ask that question for this reading. Like, maybe the tower is going to come around and tell us something about it. There could have been a tower that caused her to lose her pentacles, or not to receive them, or this could be a tower from another, from something else. We do have competition here. This card represents immature competition. Sometimes this can represent sibling rivalry. It's the only card in tarot where there's adolescents battling it out like this. And it's talking about, think about narcissistic cheerleaders. They, maybe grade 6 to grade 10, they made the team and they're used to winning because I'm on the team. And also they are used to winning the trophy, but they're at a competition and they can see there's a new team in town and they definitely are better, and they can't, they're watching them and they're worried, how are we going to win this trophy? So they're wondering, like, figuring out different ways, like, and if they have to trip someone or whatever they got to do, they want to win that trophy. If they don't succeed, their mothers will pull strings behind the scenes to make sure they do. It's immature competition when the trophy matters more than the engagement of the learning of mastering your skill set. So the better way to handle this would be to watch the competition and figure out how are they doing that move and how are they staying so tight, like how they look like they're in perfect harmony. So figuring that out and watching them, and then knowing, like, okay, now, until the next competition, we're all working on this, and we're gonna. Everybody has to work really hard, on themselves, getting better at what they're doing. And so, even if you're 1% better, the next time you go out, if every person on the team is 1% better, that's going to add up to a lot. And maybe you'll actually deserve the trophy rather than having to try and fake it to make it. So this is talking about, sometimes this can also be talking about sibling rivalry, because it's like when you're younger. And we have the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles has been coming up a lot. Sometimes this card can represent, like, this is about pentacle energy, so it is about lifestyle, but this particular card is about making money, like the 3 stages. There's safe money, there's your heart's desires, and then there's your crowning glory. So this is talking about having a strong enough foundation to be able to pay your bills and your rent and all that, but then you don't have enough to go after your authentic desires. And the crowning glory, you're not anywhere near that, like doing what you really want to be doing in life. You're doing something else because what you really want to do doesn't pay as, it's not a sure thing. So this card can represent playing small, being sold short. It can represent leaving your comfort zone to take calculated risks to get into the next level of making money. It can also talk about, it being very challenging to be a hero in your own small town. If everybody remembers you from when you were little, and they don't see you as an adult now, it can be really challenging to, or if you're from the wrong side of the tracks or that type of energy, it can be really difficult to get ahead unless you're already in a generational wealth situation. So this energy is sometimes saying that you need to take calculated risk to get ahead, not to stop selling yourself short. And it also sometimes can show like an energy of someone else coveting your money, like they've got it in their hands instead. So we'll keep going and see. We have the King of Swords. The King of Swords is representing an energy of this is someone that is an authority figure. It would be someone that's well educated, and they have authority in whatever career they're in. Now, they're least likely to be someone that is using their physical labor to earn their living. They would be educated and using their words and their learning and their ability to speak and all of that. Quite often this can represent political energy because we do have a king here. This is a king though, so it would be high up. It would be people that were presidents, prime ministers, congressmen, senators, in ministers in the federal government or at the top of the provincial government. This would be people that are making laws, keeping laws, that type of energy. Speaking for a living, and writing laws, etc. The King of Swords can also represent the legal system for sure. So this could be judges and prosecutors, and this could also represent the energy of lawyers. If this is a lawyer, most likely to be a partner in a well-established firm. And this also can represent, maybe a best-selling author, or this could be dentists, psychiatrists, surgeons, what else? Engineers, people that, patents, that may, inventors with patents, and also maybe researchers that are finding cures for disease, that type of energy. So this is talking about, this could be talking about, someone that is in an authority figure, and this could represent your energy, or you could, and you're unlikely to be the Queen of Pentacles if you're here. So it could be, you could be going to an authority figure to talk to them about some energy that's been going on here, and to get justice for it. So let's keep going and see. We've got the Queen of Wands. So now we have the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Wands is, she controls the element of fire. And so she's sitting on her throne, and her attitude is she's very cheerful and happy. That's her natural attitude. She's, a sunflower turns, the head turns with the sun to gather as much of the rays as they can, and that is God's energy. This veil behind her head is representing the thin veil between the spiritual and the physical realm, and she is, controlling. Like, this is an energy of setting the tone. Like, she doesn't engage in like real negative energy. She knows that if she uses her intuition and her logic, she can come to a creative solution for anything. And that this little black cat that she has represents that energy of, a lot of people won't have a black cat because they feel that they are, they're a cat that is going to bring bad luck. It's about that superstition again. She doesn't care about that. If she wants a black cat, she's going to have a black cat. The black cat is hers. She loves her black cat. And so she's just, this is someone that is very optimistic and kind of fun to be around, with a good sense of humor, because she doesn't worry. She doesn't engage in problems. She doesn't engage in the problem. She engages in the problem solving. And then we have, the tower being represented here as well. So this is the energy I was talking about. So there's some sort of energy. I feel like this may be the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands could be the same person. Sometimes that comes up. And like, this is the energy of being like working really hard at something, and then finding out there's been this kind of energy behind it. This kind of energy goes together. The gossip, the slander, ruining someone's reputation in business, that type of energy. The Queen of Pentacles, then all of a sudden she's having to be really resourceful when she shouldn't have to be. And she feels that it's this immature competition. So it's really impeding her ability to move forward in life. She goes to the authority figures and says, hey, do you want to look after this? So a tower hits because of it. And the tower is, like, as I said, it's first the universe is going to whisper to you, hey, you might want to do something about that. Then you don't. So then the universe says, hey, this energy, like it's a frying pan treatment, whack over the head. You need to do something about this. You can see that this is happening. And then the energy is, again, nothing is done about it. And so then it's kind of like, the 2x4 comes out, whack, still not. Then the lightning has to hit. Like, it's like a progressive, because people aren't listening to their intuition. And these people are celebrating this energy being here. And this is just saying the authorities haven't done anything about it. So there's people falling out of the tower. And one of them is totally shocked, and the other one's like, ugh, I should have done something about this. I knew I should have. So I feel like it's kind of like the Queen of Wands is saying, why are you unable to do something about this? Like, why isn't something being done about this energy? And then we have a Cup of Love coming in. Well, that's interesting. So this is the Knight in Shining Armor. Bless me. Sorry. And that's one way of clearing energy. So this is talking about the Knight of Cups is the Knight in Shining Armor that we read about in the romance novels. And he's coming in with a cup of love. So this could be representing him rescuing the damsel in distress. So finally, the authority figure is showing up. Woohoo! It's finally something is going to be done about this. And then we have the Hangman. And so this, I don't know, this is talking about action about to come. So this is still energy of action not being taken. The Hangman is hanging from the tree of knowledge, still looking at this situation from every perspective possible before taking action. And so I just did a random shift reading about, stuck energy like this. So the Hangman, I mean, it's good to hang from the tree of knowledge and look at things from all perspectives and make sure you have things correct. But eventually you have to get down from the tree and take action. So this can talk about the energy being stuck here, and it needs to move forward for this cycle, because this cycle is coming to an ending one way or another. And, it's about perspective in many ways. So the wounded warrior doing their best to stay on their destined path, doing the best that they can do under the circumstances. There's a lot of this energy around them. And the Queen of Wands is like not worried about it because, hey, she's aware this energy's around, but whatever. She's like, we'll find a creative solution. And goes to the authorities to let them know what's going on, but nothing is done about it. They're still hanging around. This sometimes, I guess, could represent doing an investigation, and they don't have enough information as of yet, so they could be doing an investigation. And the Knight in Shining Armor shows up finally with saying, hey, we're finally going to do something about this. Yay, so that you can go back to doing what you love. And that you will have the opportunities you should have, and you don't have to you don't have to be forced out of the city like tarred and feathered and run out of town for something that you didn't do. This is just immature competition. And the Queen of Pentacles. So for some of you, this could be the Queen of Pentacles having gone to the authorities and filed a complaint. It's that type of energy. Maybe she waited to do so because she figured maybe this energy is something she could handle on her own. But then she realized the magnitude of it all, like that there's more than, like there could be lots of people involved, and the extents that they've gone to, it's getting worse rather than better. So she's like, oh, something's got to change here, because why should anyone have to live like this? It doesn't make sense. So let's see what's going on here. Let's clarify some more. I know that a lot of you in the collective are talking about this, and I feel like it's coming, like the truth is coming out a lot these days. I feel like it's being worked on some level here, and let's just, see if we can give it get a little bit more information here, maybe on how to handle this for yourself. Because one thing that's for sure is when it comes to like the matters of the court and that type of energy, investigations, it takes a long time. Like it's not something that happens overnight. And this is a collaborated effort, and this could be an energy. You probably are not the only victim if there's a lot of people involved. This is probably something that happens. They maybe have a lot of victims, and maybe there's a huge investigation, and they're gathering the information. Because if you don't have enough information, then when it goes to court, it's not, everybody's wasting their time prosecuting it. So look at it from that perspective. This will happen in God's good time. And let's see here. So we have the cards here represent, the numbers on these cards represent the paintings in my oracle, Tales from the Vector. .com, and that's the name of my website, and in the gallery this is how they're listed. I will put them in the order they appear here, put them in the description box below so that you can take a look at it there. So this is talking about, I feel like, causing a lot of, like, we have trauma queen here, but I'm wondering if this isn't talking about causing a lot of trauma for the Queen of Pentacles, and that's something that's been happening here. And this causes, fight or flight or freeze energy. So the fight, like having to fight for every single part of your journey. That's not an energy that's pleasant to be in. And why should you have to run away from where you live? Like, you shouldn't have to do that. And so then the freeze is this stuck energy. So this is talking about how this drama is causing a lot of trauma for more, and I don't feel it's just for the Queen of Pentacles. I think she's representing more than one person. The need to be right. So do you have to be right to be happy? This is a karmic space that we can fall into. In this case, you do need to be right. If there's an investigation going on, they have to be right about it. Otherwise, it doesn't go through. So this is talking about making mountains out of molehills, and sometimes making molehills out of mountains. Then we have the Libra energy. So this is talking about someone who's mature enough. Like this is immature competition again. But this is saying these people could be married. They could have families of their own. They could just never have ever grown up. It's kind of like some people just don't grow up. And so this is talking about they have expectations that they can just take whatever they want. Their need to be right is very, very strong. If they're right, everybody else is wrong, and that's the way it is. And if they want something, they deserve to just take it. It's kind of, they have an expectation of that I can do what I want. Someone feels they're above the law for sure here. And then we have the Capricorn energy. Capricorn is the most ambitious of all the signs in the zodiac because they're the most mature pentacle energy. There's nothing wrong with being ambitious if there's responsibility behind it. So this is about seeing the possibilities and the challenges, and then being able to move forward in a responsible way. And so this is sitting on this energy here. And it just feels to me like this is the energy that's stuck. Like, it's like nothing's happening. And why is that? Let's keep going here. I just want to also point out, in case I forget, that when horoscope signs come up in my general collective readings, I'm not talking about the different individual people here. I'm talking about the sign itself. Capricorn is one of the most ambitious signs. And this could be an indication that there is work being done on this. Capricorn energy is, the glyph is the sea goat. It's a mountain goat. On the front end, and on the hind end, it has a dolphin tail. So when it's climbing a mountain, it slips back down, it just gets back up again. It's very much like this energy here, the wounded warrior. But it also could be saying that if the authorities are working on this, they're taking consistent steps of action towards the goal. And it takes time. So we're just going to allow them that and allow ourselves that. We have a transition coming, though. So the transition is coming. I feel the King of Swords is an authority figure. This could be a Supreme Court judge or something like that, looking into the situation. Someone's looking into it at a high level, I feel. And they're saying, what the heck is going on here? Because I do feel that when there's this many swords, and it keeps coming up in the readings, and this is about a transition that needs to happen. And that's why this could end up being a blessing in disguise. You might actually be one of many people, and other people were not strong enough to get up. And so they didn't have enough evidence. But if there's enough people that are strong enough to get up, then they're going to have there's going to be more information to investigate. It's like not a cold case energy anymore. So this is about a transition happening, and I feel like it's coming because of the King of Swords. This energy, and like we have two towers, and I feel like the tower is in this energy here is talking about a tower that happened for you, but this tower is a tower for the people causing this, because they're celebrating too soon. This energy is, their need to be right, and they're feeling that, hey, their expectation of they've been getting along with it getting away with it this long. What would be stopping them now? It's that type of energy. And then we have the Hierophant. Well, the Hierophant is going to bring God's judgment down now. Spiritual court has been in session. God has said, I have had enough of this shift. These people have many, many opportunities to change their ways. They're not going to change their ways. This needs to be dealt with. We're seeing that on a global scale right now with the files coming out and the information coming out, and more information is coming out. And you'll see, I do feel a big part of that is because Uranus is in Gemini, and Uranus is the planet Uranus, when it hasn't been in the sign of Gemini for since 1941 to 1949 during World War II. And the thing to know about that is Uranus in Gemini wants the truth to come out. And the last time, as I said, was back in 1941 to 1949 during World War II. And we're still still finding out truths about that time. So there's a lot that was going on. And now I feel that we're in that energy again. And we will be in that energy until 2033. So from whenever you're watching this, like right now, it's been about a month and a half that Uranus has been in Gemini. And, we've got a good 7.5 to 8 years to go here. So a lot of truths are coming out about things that happened, decades ago, and even sometimes generations ago. And there is justice happening, and it's starting to move forward in that way. The Wheel of Fortune is turning. The Wheel of Fortune is saying that good fortune is coming in. I feel for the Queen of Pentacles to get her justice, and the Wounded Warrior, and people, and just in general to have the truth. People want to know, what is the truth of what's happening? We deserve to know the truth. Once you know the truth, then you can make strong choices moving forward. And the Wheel of Fortune is saying that your luck is turning for the better. I feel that's like more of an individual, and this tower is more for people. How long was Plato around for? And we're still talking about Plato's cave. So, that was centuries ago, right? And then we have the moon. Yeah, hidden illusions and secrets coming out. A lot of energy. The full moon and the new moon is when you're at your most intuitive. As I'm doing this reading, we do have a new moon coming up pretty quick here. So sometimes it can be talking about that type of energy, that listen to your intuition. If your intuition is telling you something's going on, you don't have to get all worked up and accuse anyone of anything. It's nothing like that. But what you need to do is look into it. Do your own research into a situation to see if you can see what's going on. All right, and let's do one more at the very top. We have the Leo energy, which is the sun. It's about leadership. So someone eventually is going to take leadership and deal with this energy. The truth always, always, always comes out. Leo is ruled by the sun. That's God's energy. And the Leo energy is talking about being strong and being in a leadership role. It's actually number 33. It represents Christ's energy. So let's see what happens here. Keep breathing. Keep enjoying your life as best you can. And just know that, things happen in God's timing for good reason. All right. Thank you for your time and energy for this reading. Thank you for your likes, comments, shares, subscribes. I really appreciate them all. I'll be back with another random reading for you soon. Bye for now.